the most tremendous new musical experience you can have.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Logan, and I'm here bringing you this video that will serve as my podcast for the week of November 1st. I'm planning to have this up as I am recording it today. I'm planning to have this up tonight. That is October 31st. Happy Halloween, y'all. Hope y'all are having a great one. So let's go ahead and get into the first topic, which will be what I have been listening to this past week. So first off, you already know Kanye's Jesus is King, clippings, There Existed an Addiction to Blood. I already have reviews on those. If you haven't checked out those videos, please go check them out. But other than that, I've only been listening to two other albums for the most part this past week. And these are two albums that I don't plan on getting full reviews out for, so I'm actually going to talk about them a little bit right now, kind of pad the runtime of this video a little bit since I don't have much to talk about. So the first one is JGivens Domino. Now, for those of you who don't know who JGivens is, he is a rapper who has, for the most part, talked about Christian topics. However, in this one, kind of departed from that a little bit. You can still see influence of that on here, back and forth, but he's an artist who actually saw first live in concert, had never heard of him before, listened to a couple of the songs that he performed, and decided to buy his project Fly Exam, which I thoroughly enjoyed. That's the last project that he put out before this one. I thoroughly enjoyed that one, and I highly recommend checking that one out. It has a lot more religious content, although it also has a lot of content regarding racism and stuff like that. And that's where this one comes in relating to that. Like I said, it doesn't have as much of the Christian content, but it has a lot of racism talk and stuff like that. Honestly, I really did enjoy this project. I'm just looking at the track list here, and I mean, there's not really any songs that I can say stand out, but there's not really any that I can complain about either. Like, I enjoyed every single track on here for the most part, and all of them have some really good lyricism. That is one thing I'll say. He is a very good lyricist and very good at painting pictures through songs. And overall, he's a good artist who I recommend checking out. I really don't have too much to say about it. Like I said, I don't want to break it down too much because he does a great job of breaking it down, and that's something that I would want you to experience on your own if you are listening to him. Like I said, a lot of good content when discussing racism and issues such as that. Go check it out. I give it an 8 out of 10. Now, the other one that I've been listening to actually just dropped today, and normally I wouldn't talk about or review an album like on the day that it did come out, but it is only 33 minutes long, about 12 or 13 tracks. It is 1K Phew's What's Understood 2, which is the sequel to his What's Understood project that came out earlier this year. I actually did drop a review on that. I think I gave it like a 2 or 3 out of 10 at the time. That was a far cry from what I'm feeling about it now. I think I now have it at a 7 or 7.5 because I came back and listened to it, and I mean, at first he was someone who I had actually heard live also at a Lecrae concert before I ever listened to him on an album, and I didn't enjoy it that much to start with, but he has come around a lot on me, and I went into this one with an open mind, and I really enjoyed it. Now, like I said, I normally wouldn't drop a review for an album on the day of, but since I'm not doing a full in-depth review, and since I've probably listened to it like 5 times, 6 times already today, I feel comfortable doing that, and especially since it doesn't have a lot of content to unpack. It is very similar to the first What's Understood, difference being it's about twice the size track list wise, and nearly twice the size runtime wise also. Now, when it comes to songs that I enjoy, I will give the nod to the first What's Understood for having songs like Back Soon, How We Comin', and songs such as that. Those are songs that I thoroughly enjoy and added to playlists. However, this one has more continuity to it. I feel like it has a better following of the storyline, whereas What's Understood didn't really have as much of that storyline. It did have those sad songs, and this one doesn't have that quite as much, although I will say, like the song Glory, End of the Road, to end off the album, they definitely have those kind of vibes. Glory being one that's also very uplifting. But this one follows a very good storyline of him talking about how he's doing what he does and being one of the only people who's able to do that through the Christian message and bring it back to people from where he's from and like from other places like that who enjoy this kind of music, that being the generic trap sounding music. I hate to call them generic because I do really enjoy it. But the songs that really stick out to me that I did add to playlist, Kung Fu, great song. It has Ty Brazell again and What Up RG, which as you know I really enjoy him. And then the song Can't Hear You with Aha Gazelle, another artist that I thoroughly enjoy who was formerly a Reach Records artist, as 1K Phew is also. They have amazing chemistry together. I actually participated in a Q&A with Aha Gazelle on Twitter where I asked him who his favorite artist to work with and write with was, and he did say 1K Phew because they have great chemistry together, and that song absolutely proves that if you hadn't heard a song from them two before. So again, I recommend checking this one out if you enjoy Christian rap, if you enjoy trap music, if you enjoy a mixture of the both. Check this one out because it was a good project. So those are my reviews for those two. Now let's go ahead and get into talking about what is coming out this week. So obviously, today we already had the 1K Phew album come out. There were talks about getting another 21 Savage Metro Boomin album coming out tonight, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, as, I mean, it would have came out last night technically for Halloween, but it never did. So I guess that's probably not happening. However, I have just today seen rumors that Earl Sweatshirt will be dropping another short album / EP. Fingers crossed for that one because I did really enjoy some rap songs. I didn't fall in love with it at first. It took some listening because I didn't really enjoy that unfinished mixing and mastering at first, but I came around on that, especially considering the storyline and the message sent through that. So I have very high hopes for this one. It could be one of the best albums of the year. Also, we have Gangstar's One of the Best Yet. Gangstar being one of my favorite groups of all time, of course. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about that. I really hope that that lives up to the hype. Other than that, those are probably the only two I will check out. Yellow Wolf is dropping an album called Ghetto Cowboy. I have enjoyed some of Yellow Wolf stuff, so I may check it out. Don't expect a review for it. Even if I do check it out, at the best, you'll be getting one of these podcast reviews for it. It depends on how much I enjoy it. If I do check it out and listen to it and it sucks, I only listened to it once, I'll probably never think of it again. If I enjoy it enough to give it a 5, I might talk about it. Actually, if it sucks, I might talk about it just to trash it. We'll see how that goes when we get there. So that being said, that's pretty much all of my topics for this week. I do want to talk about the main topic, though. That being, what is my favorite Christian rap album, quote-unquote Christian rap album of all time, or what are some of my favorites, and you can talk about this in the discussion too if you do listen to that kind of music. The reason I'm talking about this is because this year has actually been a really good year for Christian rap, and it seems like a lot of artists are coming into their own and starting to find their own brand of music rather than copying the culture as it seemed before. Some of my favorite ones that have come out this year would be What Up RG's Raul, NF's The Search, I guess you can say Kanye's Jesus is King. Of course, 1K Phew dropped both What's Understoods. Those have been good. And then, I mean, even albums like Tedashi's, what was it called? Excuse me. I didn't care for it that much, but it was a good project. Let me look that up real quick. Tedashi's Never Fold. My apologies for that. Like I said, it wasn't nothing amazing, but it was still like a 6.5 out of 10. And I did enjoy that. I remember listening to that. I believe I never actually got a review up for that, but it was like right around the time that I quit making videos. So, again, it had some good songs on it. It has some songs on it that are definitely in my playlists. So, getting away from what's come out this year recently, let's talk about some of my favorite ones. So, first off, I'm going to throw out there probably my all-time favorite, Lecrae's Anomaly. This is one that just spoke to me. He's talking about being an anomaly, that being someone who just doesn't fit in, doesn't feel like they fit within the culture, fit within a friend group or anything like that. And I can definitely relate to that. I had felt like that throughout high school a lot of the time. And just him talking about wanting to be someone who can uplift God and reach out to people through that despite never actually fitting in. That was an amazing project. I love pretty much every single song on that. Andy Mineo's Uncomfortable. A lot of the same topics come up on here, except instead of talking about like feeling like you don't fit in, he talks about like actually making strides so that you don't fit in. Get out of your comfort zone, go out there and push the culture, push what you believe in, not in down people's throats, of course, but like just spread the word as best you can. I really enjoy that project. Again, What Up RG's Raul, really enjoy that, where he's talking about his faith, but then also how he went through a testing of his faith with his father being deported and all of that. Great album. NF's The Search, again, where he's talking a lot about his mental health and how God has helped him through that a lot, but he's still dealing with it in many, many ways. That is another great project. And then I guess the last one that I'm really going to throw out is Sho Baraka's The Narrative. This is one of the deepest ones by far. It has a great storyline. Every single track has a title, and then next to it is a year. So some of them are from like the 1600s, some of them are from like the 1900s, late, early, whatever. Some of them are from the 2000s. He has one, I think this came out in 2016. He has one that's 2016, and then he has one that's 2017 that's literally talking about the future. Obviously 2017 being 2 years ago, that doesn't really relate now, but that doesn't make this album dated, especially since you can look at it and consider, oh wow, yeah, it did come out in 2016, so that would be, he's talking about the future. That's how you apply it there. Even having one song entitled, I believe, Piano Break, 33 AD, where obviously that's relating to the year that Jesus died. And he's just talking a lot about having faith in Jesus and his shortcomings as a person. That's a great album that I highly recommend. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and plug in one of my favorite albums from last year that I actually had in my top 5, I believe. Sho Baraka. Again, great artist. Absolutely love everything that he has put out. But this album right here, let me actually tell you the name of it. So Many Feelings, my apologies. Him and Vanessa Hill come out here talking about a religious depiction of marriage. They talk about like coming together and how having to ask someone to babysit the kids, and then it specifically has a point in one of the songs where the wife asks the husband, like, make sure that we do these things that we have to do to be able to go out on a date night, because having kids, it's difficult to do that. And he says, you know what, I'll call the babysitter, blah, blah, blah. Then by the end of the song, they don't have a babysitter, and he gets mad at her for not calling a babysitter because he forgot. And then it just tiny little things adding up to the point where they're actually considering like splitting up. The woman is just up in arms, and the man's like, dang, I really need to find a way out of this. They call friends. The friends tell them, yo, you can't be doing this. Y'all are good together. Y'all are made for each other. Marriages are going to have fights in them. You have to fight for that. That's every relationship. And then by the end of the album, they are coming back together, and they actually realize, like, wow, we're better through this, having gone through this and come back together. Put everything in God's hands, follow through him and with him, and then with each other. And there will be hard times, but we can get through them at any point. Great message. Absolutely love that album. And again, highly recommend checking that out. That was one of my top 5 of the year for last year. So yeah, those are some of my favorite Christian rap albums. Even if you're not a Christian, I do highly recommend checking them out, because they have a lot of good messages outside of that. Just like I said, that last album, it had a lot of good content that can be related outside of religion, because, it's not that explicit into, yes, we need to rely on God, even though that is in there. It still has plenty of good content that can relate to any marriage. And the same with The Narrative, where a lot of it, again, by Sho Baraka, where a lot of it is talking about like racism and issues like that. A lot of it's talking about dealing with sins and mistakes that you made in the past, and then looking forward to the future and embracing what the future has to hold. So again, check out the ones that I've recommended. If you have any that you really enjoyed that I have or haven't listened to, leave them in the comments section. Also, go ahead and leave a comment as to what you dressed up as today, being Halloween, or what you're going to dress up as this weekend, since a lot of you will be going out for that. I appreciate all y'all watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all those great things. Share the video if you really enjoyed it that much, and I will see y'all next time.